Welcome, chosen ones. If you're here right now, know this. God has led you here for a reason. It's not by chance or coincidence. You're a chosen one, and there's a purpose in your life that goes beyond anything you may even realize yet. The people who have targeted you, who have tried to bring you down through gang stalking, don't know who they're messing with. They're blind to the fact that you're not just anyone. They're messing with someone who is under divine protection, someone who is walking their path for a reason bigger than their petty attempts to hurt you. God doesn't let his chosen fall to the wayside. When others try to tear you down, it's like they're fighting the very forces that protect you. And trust me, karma has a way of dealing with that. It doesn't matter how many they are, how much they plot, it always backfires. The universe works in ways we can't always see. But when you're walking in your purpose, everything works in your favor, even when it looks tough. Watch this video till the end. Hear the truth that's meant for you, because you need to know just how powerful your purpose is and why karma is already in motion for those who tried to harm you. Number 1. Karma doesn't forget or take bribes. Karma isn't fooled by appearances or excuses. It doesn't care how well someone hides their actions, how many people are involved, or how carefully they plot. Gang stalkers might feel untouchable because they think operating in the shadows protects them. But karma operates on a completely different level. It's not bound by secrecy or numbers. It sees everything, every cruel word, every manipulative act, every time someone joined in on the harm. And it remembers. Karma is patient, and that's what makes it so powerful. It doesn't rush to deliver consequences because it knows timing is everything. The longer someone avoids accountability, the heavier the weight of their actions becomes. It's like a debt that compounds with interest, growing larger and more impossible to ignore over time. And when karma finally collects, it's not just a slap on the wrist. It's the kind of reckoning that leaves no room for escape. For gang stalkers, the false sense of security they feel in their anonymity only makes the backlash more intense. They may believe that blending into a group or staying behind the scenes shields them, but karma doesn't operate on human rules. Disguises and tactics mean nothing to a force that works on the level of energy. What you put out into the world, especially when directed at a chosen one, returns to you exactly as you sent it, but amplified. And here's the kicker. Karma doesn't accept bribes, shortcuts, or pleas for mercy. There's no way to manipulate or outsmart it. People can delay facing the truth, but they can't escape it. It's not about vengeance. It's about balance. The universe demands it, and there's no negotiating with something that's designed to restore what was disrupted. For anyone thinking they've gotten away with their actions, karma's message is clear. You're only prolonging the inevitable. The harder you try to hide, the sharper its focus becomes. And when it strikes, it will hit where it hurts most, because that's what balance requires. Number 2, the universe always collects its debt. The universe has its own system of checks and balances, and no one escapes it. When it comes to chosen ones, it's as if they're on a divine payroll, with the universe acting as both their employer and their ultimate protector. Every act of harm directed at them doesn't just go unnoticed, it gets recorded. And just like any unpaid debt, the longer it goes unresolved, the heavier it becomes. Harming a chosen one isn't just a personal attack, it's a disruption to something much larger. These individuals are often here for a higher purpose, and anything done to derail or harm them creates a ripple effect that the universe will correct. Every lie, betrayal, or act of sabotage generates a cosmic invoice, one their enemies must pay in full. And no, there are no loopholes, shortcuts, or write-offs in this system. Here's the thing. The universe doesn't operate on human timelines. It's patient, but it's also relentless. Those who think they've escaped accountability are simply fooling themselves. The universe always collects its debt, and it does so with interest. The harm they caused may seem like it's buried or forgotten, but when karma comes knocking, it delivers consequences that feel 10 times heavier than the original action. There's no such thing as spiritual bankruptcy here. No amount of apologies, excuses, or avoidance can erase what's owed. The universe doesn't negotiate, it balances. And when it's time to collect, it hits precisely where it hurts the most: relationships, careers, health, or even the mind. For chosen ones, this truth is a source of comfort. They don't have to lower themselves to seek revenge or prove their worth. The universe handles it. Their enemies, on the other hand, might think they're in control for a while, but they're only building a debt they'll eventually be crushed under. Because when you harm someone under divine protection, you're not just hurting them, you're disrupting a universal plan. And the universe never lets that slide. Number 3, their enemies can't handle the weight of the truth. Gang stalkers often operate from a place of arrogance, thinking they found an easy target in someone they see as different or odd. They assume the chosen one's quiet nature or unique energy makes them weak. But here's the truth they never see coming. They aren't just messing with another person. They're attacking someone spiritually significant, someone placed on this earth with a purpose far greater than they could ever comprehend. And when that truth hits, it doesn't just sting, it shatters them. The moment gang stalkers realize who the chosen one truly is, everything changes. The jokes aren't funny anymore. The tactics feel hollow. There's an unsettling weight that starts to press on them, a deep, unshakable awareness that they've crossed a line they didn't even know existed. It's not just guilt, it's the realization that they've interfered with something divinely protected. And the universe doesn't take that lightly. This truth is a mirror, and when their enemies look into it, they're forced to face the ugliness of their own actions. They see themselves for what they really are: insecure, lost, and misguided, and that realization is unbearable. Suddenly, the chosen one's silence, resilience, and unbothered nature makes sense. They weren't weak, they were untouchable. What makes it worse is the spiritual weight of their actions. Hurting a chosen one doesn't just carry ordinary consequences, it comes with karmic repercussions that are magnified because of who they targeted. It's like trying to vandalize a sacred temple. You're not just causing harm, you're inviting a level of accountability you're not equipped to handle. And that's the thing. When the truth comes to light, it's not just about regret, it's about the inevitable fallout. The enemies of chosen ones can't handle the weight of what they've done because the universe ensures they feel every ounce of it. The karmic consequences are heavier, harsher, and far beyond what they ever anticipated. By the time they realize the full extent of their actions, it's already too late. Number 4. Gang stalkers are fueling their own demise. Gang stalkers don't realize it, but every action they take against a chosen one is like digging their own grave a little deeper. The energy they put into their schemes, the plotting, the gossip, the relentless obsession, doesn't just disappear into thin air. Energy is a cycle, and the universe is very good at redistributing it. The irony is brutal. The harder they work to bring down a chosen one, the more destruction they invite into their own lives. Every lie they spread, every cruel word, every calculated move to harm someone who carries divine protection is like writing a check they can't cash. That energy, filled with malice and intent to destroy, doesn't just vanish. It's stored, amplified, and sent back to its source. The universe doesn't forget, and it doesn't let anyone off the hook. The more effort gang stalkers put into their actions, the more fuel they give karma to ensure their eventual collapse. What makes this so tragic is that they're blind to the damage they're doing to themselves. They mistake their obsession for control, their cruelty for power. But what they're really doing is building a storm they won't survive. Karma doesn't just take their energy, it multiplies it and sends it back in ways they can't predict. It hits their relationships, finances, health, and even their peace of mind. And here's the kicker. A chosen one doesn't have to lift a finger for any of this to happen. They don't need to seek revenge or even acknowledge the gang stalkers. The energy exchange is automatic. The more the stalkers push, the worse it gets for them. It's like trying to light a fire in a room full of gasoline. You might think you're in control, but the explosion is inevitable. In the end, gang stalkers aren't just harming someone else, they're orchestrating their own downfall. The universe is fair like that. You can't pour your life into destroying someone divinely protected without destroying yourself in the process. Number 4. Divine timing is unbeatable. Karma doesn't follow a clock or calendar. It's not in a rush, and it doesn't cater to anyone's expectations. That's why so many gang stalkers arrogantly believe they've gotten away with their actions. Days, weeks, or even months pass without consequences, and they convince themselves they've dodged karma. But what they fail to understand, and what chosen ones know all too well, is that divine timing is never early, never late, and always devastatingly precise. Chosen ones have a deep understanding of how the universe works. They don't waste energy worrying about when justice will be served because they know it's guaranteed. Karma operates on its own schedule, one that ensures consequences arrive at the perfect moment for maximum impact. It doesn't just punish, it teaches, and the timing is designed to make sure the lesson is impossible to ignore. This patience is what makes divine timing so powerful. Gang stalkers might feel invincible for a while, mistaking the silence for victory. But what they don't realize is that karma is gathering momentum. The longer it takes, the harder it hits. It waits until the stalkers are most vulnerable, when they think they're safe, when they're least prepared, when the fallout will dismantle everything they've built. For chosen ones, this understanding is a source of peace. They don't need to retaliate or waste time plotting their own justice. They know the universe is handling it, and that faith allows them to focus on their purpose. Their silence, patience, and calm aren't signs of weakness. They're evidence of their trust in something far greater than human intervention. When divine timing steps in, it's not just about consequences, it's about balance. The universe ensures that every ounce of harm done to a chosen one is repaid, with interest, at the exact moment it will make the deepest impact. Stalkers may laugh now, but divine timing is undefeated, and when the hammer finally drops, it will dismantle their illusions of power, leaving no doubt about who was truly in control all along. Number 5. They're protected by forces beyond human understanding. Chosen ones walk with a level of protection that can't be measured, predicted, or even fully understood. Their shield isn't something you can see or touch, but it's there, constant, unshakable, and undeniably effective. This protection doesn't play by human rules or logic. It's a force rooted in the spiritual realm, operating on a higher frequency that transcends what most people can comprehend. Some call it spiritual guides, others ancestral forces, or even the hand of universal law itself. Whatever the label, it's clear. These forces are not to be underestimated. They move silently, yet powerfully, ensuring the chosen one's path is cleared, even when it seems blocked by human schemes. Time and again, just when enemies think they have the upper hand, something shifts. Unexpected circumstances, sudden reversals, or inexplicable events turn the tables. It's not coincidence, it's divine intervention. Enemies who ignore these forces make the fatal mistake of believing they're in control. They think their plans, numbers, or resources can overpower someone spiritually significant. But they learn quickly, often painfully, that some battles are unwinnable. When you go against a chosen one, you're not just fighting a person, you're challenging an entire system of protection that's far beyond your grasp. This protection doesn't just defend, it redirects. Every attack, every scheme, every ounce of negative energy aimed at a chosen one eventually bounces back to its source. It's not revenge, it's balance. The universe won't allow harm to linger in the energy field of someone with a higher purpose. That energy has to go somewhere, and it always returns to sender. For chosen ones, this truth offers peace. They don't need to engage in battles or defend themselves against petty attacks. They know their role isn't to fight, but to rise above. The forces protecting them ensure that every challenge becomes a stepping stone, every attack a lesson in resilience. For their enemies, however, it's a harsh reality. You can't win a war against someone who is divinely protected. Number 6. Jealousy is a self-inflicted wound. Jealousy is one of the most toxic emotions a person can carry, and when it turns into gang stalking, it becomes a poison that eats the stalker from the inside out. The root of most attacks on chosen ones is envy, whether it's their resilience, their light, or the unique energy they carry. This envy becomes a silent force, quietly gnawing at the person's peace of mind, self-worth, and perspective. What they fail to realize, though, is that jealousy isn't something you project onto others. It's a wound you create in yourself. When someone targets a chosen one out of jealousy, they're effectively drinking poison and expecting the other person to suffer. The more bitterness they pour into their actions, the more they damage themselves. The chosen one remains unbothered, untouched by the jealousy that fuels these attacks. Meanwhile, the stalkers become increasingly consumed by their own negative energy. Their bitterness eats away at their joy, their ability to think clearly, and ultimately their mental and emotional well-being. What makes jealousy so destructive is that it's an internal battle. It doesn't matter how much they try to tear down the chosen one or undermine their light. The real harm is happening within them. Their obsession with the chosen one's uniqueness only highlights how far they've drifted from their own purpose and self-worth. Rather than elevating themselves, they're trapped in a spiral of negativity. The irony is that the more they try to attack, the more they reinforce their own inadequacies. Jealousy is a self-inflicted wound that only deepens with time, and as their envy grows, so does the damage it causes. The chosen one moves forward, unfazed and illuminated, while the stalkers are left in the shadows, consumed by their own toxic emotions. Number 7. Attacking a chosen one reveals weakness, not strength. Gang stalkers often hide behind the illusion of strength in numbers, thinking their collective efforts make them untouchable. But the truth is, attacking a chosen one doesn't show power. It reveals weakness. There's nothing strong about ganging up on someone who stands alone. It's a sign of desperation, insecurity, and fear. The fact that they need to collaborate in an attempt to break someone who's simply walking their own path speaks volumes about how fragile they really are. A chosen one's resilience and ability to remain unbothered by such attacks only highlight the insecurity of those who target them. The chosen one doesn't need a crowd or a team to maintain their peace. They stand firm, rooted in their purpose, and protected by forces beyond human comprehension. In contrast, the gang stalkers are like vultures, circling for any weakness to prey upon. But in reality, it's their own weakness that's on full display. Karma thrives on that kind of cowardice. The universe doesn't reward those who rely on numbers or try to hide behind a group mentality. It punishes the intent behind the attack, the fear-driven need to tear down someone standing in their truth. That cowardice eventually catches up with them because you can only play the numbers game for so long before the universe flips the script. It's the one who stands alone, unwavering, that emerges stronger in the end. And the universe ensures the gang stalkers will feel the weight of their own insecurity, amplified by the consequences of their actions. In the end, their attacks don't show their strength, they expose their lack of it. And karma makes sure that weakness is paid for, always in the harshest way possible. Number 8. What you give, you get, times 10. The law of reciprocity is a universal truth. What you give, you get. And while many associate it with kindness and good deeds, it's just as unforgiving when it comes to negativity. When you target a chosen one, the harm you inflict doesn't just return to you, it comes back multiplied, often in ways you never saw coming. The universe doesn't care about your intentions or the justifications behind your actions. It simply follows the law of cause and effect. The suffering gang stalkers try to impose on a chosen one isn't something that can be swept away or forgotten. It's stored in the ether, waiting for the right moment to boomerang back at them. And when it does, it hits them harder than they could have ever imagined. What they threw at the chosen one with malice and hatred comes back tenfold, often in unpredictable, devastating ways. Relationships fall apart, opportunities slip away, health deteriorates, and peace of mind becomes an unattainable dream. The very forces they unleash to harm another end up destroying their own lives. But it's not just about the direct retaliation. The law of reciprocity works in ways that often baffle the perpetrators. A person might think they're getting away with their actions because the consequences aren't immediate, but karma has a way of timing its return perfectly, ensuring the damage is far worse than anything the stalkers could have predicted. The universe doesn't forget, and it doesn't let negativity slide. When you send out hatred, bitterness, or malice into the world, don't be surprised when it comes back to you in ways you can't control. And when it does, it's not just going to be an eye for an eye. It's going to be 10 times worse. That's the power of reciprocity, and it's a law that always balances the scales. Number 9. They've been through worse. You haven't. Chosen ones aren't just born with strength. They're forged in the fires of hardship. The battles they've fought, the pain they've endured, and the obstacles they've overcome have prepared them for anything. Gang stalking, with all its petty attempts to break them, doesn't faze them. They've been through worse, far worse. Their resilience isn't a result of good luck or some magical protection. It's the product of years of surviving the very worst life could throw at them. When you target a chosen one, you're messing with someone who's already walked through hell and come out on the other side, stronger for it. They've endured loss, betrayal, rejection, and pain that would crush most people. But instead of breaking, they've learned, grown, and adapted. They understand that attacks, whether physical, emotional, or spiritual, are part of the process, and they've long since built the armor to handle it. On the flip side, those who engage in gang stalking are usually unprepared for the fallout. They think their actions are harmless, that they can get away with pushing someone who's already down. But they have no idea what they're up against. Karma has a way of making them feel every ounce of pain they've tried to inflict. They haven't been through what the chosen one has endured, and they're certainly not prepared for the consequences of their own actions. When karma swings back, it hits hard. It doesn't care about the stalker's plans or their sense of invincibility. It's not a gentle reminder. It's a lesson they're not equipped to learn. The chosen one, however, remains unshaken, because they know that they've survived worse, and they've made it through stronger than before. The true strength of a chosen one lies in their ability to rise above the petty attacks of those who don't understand the power of enduring hardship. The enemies? They're about to get a taste of the kind of fallout they've never even imagined. Number 10. The universe protects its investments. The universe operates with a level of precision and purpose that far surpasses human understanding. And when it has an investment in something or someone, it doesn't just sit back and watch. It protects its interests fiercely. Chosen ones are often on a mission, whether they fully realize it or not. Their purpose isn't accidental. It's woven into the fabric of the universe itself. There's a reason they've been chosen, a reason they've been given a path to walk, and that path is bigger than any individual or obstacle that might try to stand in their way. The universe has a vested interest in seeing them succeed. It's not about coincidence or fate. It's about divine purpose. Every step a chosen one takes is guided by a higher force, and anyone who tries to interfere with that purpose is essentially challenging the natural order of things. The consequences of that are severe. The universe doesn't let its investments go unprotected, and when someone messes with a chosen one, they're not just fighting a person. They're declaring war on the very forces that govern the balance of existence. And here's the thing. They're always going to lose. No matter how much they scheme, how much they manipulate, or how many people they enlist to try to destroy the chosen one's path, the universe is always one step ahead. It doesn't operate on human timelines or limitations. It doesn't care about your plans or your petty grievances. It cares about fulfilling its higher purpose. So, when someone attempts to derail a chosen one, they're not just fighting an individual. They're fighting the universe itself. And the universe, as history has proven, always wins. The repercussions for those who interfere are inevitable, and they often come in ways that are unpredictable and far more devastating than they could ever imagine. The universe doesn't just protect its investments, it ensures they fulfill their purpose, no matter the cost. Number 11. You're only hurting yourself. Messing with a chosen one is one of the most self-destructive actions you can take. It's like punching a brick wall with bare fists. The wall doesn't budge, it doesn't even notice you. But your fists, they're the ones that shatter. The more you hit, the more you break yourself down, piece by piece, while the chosen one stands there, unmoved, unshaken, rising higher with every attack. Gang stalkers think they're striking at a weak point. that their harassment will break the Chosen One, but they are sorely mistaken. The Chosen One's energy, purpose, and spirit are like that brick wall, solid, impenetrable, and unwavering. They're not going to be moved by petty attacks or shallow attempts to bring them down. The universe is aligned with them, and no amount of negativity can shake that foundation. On the other hand, those who try to bring them down are only destroying themselves. Every bit of energy they pour into harassment is energy that drains them. The hatred, bitterness, and envy they send out don't reach the Chosen One. They just circle back around and implode on them. Their relationships fracture, their peace of mind crumbles, and their sense of self-worth deteriorates. They think they're attacking, but they're the ones who are being obliterated. The Chosen One, though? They're untouchable. With every attack, they grow stronger, more focused, more aligned with their purpose. The more the stalkers try to destroy, the more they reinforce their own undoing. In the end, the Chosen One rises while the attackers collapse under the weight of their own destructive energy. Trying to hurt a Chosen One is never going to work out in your favor. It's a fight you can't win, and in the end it's only you who will be left broken. Numbers 12. The Chosen One's silence is more powerful than retaliation. Gang stalkers thrive on chaos. They want a reaction, a meltdown, a confrontation, anything to feed their egos and validate their efforts. But when a Chosen One responds with silence, it's like throwing water on their fire. The stalkers are left grasping for something that doesn't exist. That calm, detached silence is not weakness. It's an undeniable display of strength. It's a reminder that Chosen Ones operate on a different level, one where petty games don't hold any weight. This silence does more than frustrate their enemies. It shifts the balance of power. By refusing to engage, Chosen Ones take away the one thing their stalkers crave: control. And this lack of engagement isn't just for show, it's strategic. It allows the universe to step in and do what it does best: restore balance. A Chosen One doesn't need to retaliate because they know that cosmic justice is far more effective than any personal revenge. Silence creates space for karma to work. While the gang stalkers burn themselves out with schemes and negativity, the Chosen One's stillness amplifies the consequences waiting for their enemies. Retaliation might offer temporary satisfaction, but silence ensures that the resolution comes from a higher, more absolute force. The universe doesn't miss, and it doesn't hold back. What's most infuriating for their enemies is the Chosen One's refusal to be moved. This calm exterior isn't indifference. It's rooted in a deep understanding of their own power and protection. It's a quiet confidence that says, I don't need to stoop to your level because I know how this ends. And that truth eats away at their stalkers more than any words or actions ever could. In the end, the silence of a Chosen One is deafening. It's a powerful reminder that they don't play by the same rules as their enemies. While their stalkers spiral, consumed by their own negativity, the Chosen One rises above it, untouched and unbothered, as the universe delivers the final blow on their behalf. Number 13. They reflect your darkness back at you. Chosen Ones have a unique ability to reflect the energy of those around them, especially when they're targeted. It's not something they ask for, but it's a gift that comes with being on a higher spiritual plane. When people decide to gang stalk a Chosen One, they're not just harassing an individual, they're unintentionally confronting their own darkness. The more they try to tear down the Chosen One, the more they're forced to face the negative energy, insecurities, and unresolved issues they've buried deep within themselves. The problem is, when you attack a Chosen One, you're only feeding the mirror. Every hateful action, every nasty word, every attempt to break them, it all bounces back. It doesn't break the Chosen One, it chips away at the people trying to hurt them. What they fail to realize is that the Chosen One's strength isn't just physical or emotional, it's spiritual. And that spiritual energy works as a mirror. The darkness they throw at the Chosen One doesn't destroy the Chosen One. It amplifies their own fears, insecurities, and regrets, forcing them to face parts of themselves they'd rather avoid. Long after the stalking stops, the reflection continues to eat away at them. They might not even realize it, but their minds become plagued by doubt, guilt, and anxiety. They'll start to question their own motives and actions, and no matter how much they try to ignore it, the reflection of their darkness will haunt them in ways they can't escape. It shows up in their emotional state, in their relationships, and even in their physical health. The more they try to harm the chosen one, the deeper they sink into the chaos of their own mind, body, and soul. This is why karma doesn't just hit them in an obvious way. It works through their own self-inflicted torment. The more they project, the more they hurt themselves. As I wrap up, if you're reading this, it's no accident. You're a chosen one, and the universe has a bigger plan for you than anyone can comprehend. Your journey isn't about avoiding hardships or escaping challenges. It's about embracing your power and purpose despite them. The gang stalkers who think they can tear you down don't realize the energy they're messing with. They've underestimated the strength, resilience, and divine protection that surrounds you. The truth is, everything they throw at you only makes you stronger. Their attacks don't touch you, they bounce right off, and the universe takes care of the rest. Karma doesn't forget, and it doesn't take bribes. What they've tried to use to harm you will come back to them in ways they can't even imagine. You are exactly where you need to be, and your purpose is greater than the small minds who try to tear you down. Don't let their actions make you question your worth. Keep moving forward with the confidence that the universe has your back. They can't touch what's untouchable, and your rise is inevitable. Stay true to your path, and remember, karma's already on your side. The more they try to destroy, the higher you'll soar. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Bye for now, and stay blessed.